Hello, I am the Irish guy, and so, who saw this coming then?
I think with Liverpool's ownership chaos, who is really going to sanction a mind-blowing £100 million bid? No, this transfer, it's too huge, it's too monstrous. It'll be Real Madrid signing Bellingham next summer. I'm sorry. Liverpool fans are probably weeping into their cereal, but this is just too big a transfer for you to conduct. For the same reason you didn't buy Erling Tchouameni from Monaco, this is a similar transfer, same result. Bellingham, he's going to Madrid. Honestly, if he winds up at Anfield in 2023, I'll get his face tattooed on my hand.
Me! See this hand? See it? See this smooth, unblemished skin? Nobody is touching this thing with a tattoo pen because I knew this would happen because £130 million. I mean, right now, Liverpool fans are devastated that their club is rightly choosing to not pay that sort of cash for one player. I mean, why is this transfer fee just being normalized? Liverpool fans are complaining that their owner won't write this check for £130 million. What? Am I going out of my skull? Right now, I feel like Will Smith halfway through I Am Legend. You know, and he starts begging the mannequin for a kiss. Because I'm on my own here. Nobody else seems to be batting an eyelid. At Borussia Dortmund charging a monstrously ugly transfer fee for someone who 3 years ago was playing for Birmingham. And how much do you think Liverpool would have had to pay Bellingham in wages? Oh, I'll tell you. At least £300,000 a week. Because Dortmund are now prepared to offer him a new deal worth £30 million per year. Yeah, that's $250k a week. So he would automatically be the second highest paid player in the history of your club at 19. Suddenly, this child would be earning more than double what Jordan Henderson does. You know, the club captain who's been at the club for over a decade and has won everything. Bring in a monstrously expensive talent. And suddenly, rolling out the red carpet and making the Prince of Anfield, I actually think it would wreck the dressing room. This skinny kid from Stourbridge, someone who probably can't even lift a sausage roll above his head, he would be earning 3 times what Liverpool used to pay Stevie G. Is football broken? Do you realize how this just cannot be? Lads, if you're new here, whack that subscribe button, you unbelievable legends. And also, check out the latest football origins. I mean, come on, look at that free kick. But go on, hit that subscribe button and marvel at how just overpriced Bellingham actually is. I have always said that Jude Bellingham would never join Liverpool. Yeah, there was another Irish guy who, thought the opposite.
You know what's going to happen. Jude Bellingham will be a Liverpool player next summer, just like I've always told you he's going to be. 16, 17 months now I've been telling you all this, but we will probably get some news about this in early April, so strap yourselves in. You can look forward to it. It will be a positive one. And, so that's that. Mark this, you can bookmark it, you can carve it into your desk at work, you can quote me on this 2 years down the line. I am saying, unequivocally, Jude Bellingham is going to be a Liverpool football player by the start of next season. Liverpool are going to sign Jude Bellingham because, first and foremost, it's destiny. Michael, I've got one promise to you, my friend. When we sign Jude Bellingham, I will fly over and be with you when you get that tattoo of Jude Bellingham on your hand. I will happily sit there and hold your hand as you go through that process, Michael. That is my promise, sir, to you.
I think if Liverpool don't get Jude Bellingham and get Conor Gallagher instead, I actually think you might break the internet with your meltdown.
But I don't need to worry about that, mate. You just need to worry about what spot on that arm the tattoo's going.
It's not coming though. Bellingham. If Liverpool don't get Champions League football, I actually don't think you have a chance of getting Bellingham at all.
Let me explain to you why you're wrong.
Well, this is awkward. Poor old Craig. This man runs Anfield Agenda and inside the last year has made 81 videos about Bellingham. 81! It's an obsession. That's all it is. At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if he'd flown to Germany, camped outside Bellingham's flat, found one of his discarded crisp packets in the garden, and now chose to frame it above his bed. I mean, does he also have a jar of Jude's fingernails in the fridge? Listen, I get that it's probably gutting to miss out on Bellingham, but it's not the end of the world at all. The reason Liverpool pulled out of the deal is because he is too expensive. And if they throw all of their eggs into one basket, they wouldn't really be able to sign anyone else. Am I missing something here? That is sensible. I still remember a world where Liverpool tried to sell Xabi Alonso to Arsenal so they could fund a £15 million deal for Gareth Barry. Honestly, that was about as clever as Rafa Benitez wanting to run naked into traffic. So for this club to chuck £130 million at anyone, no, that happens. What if Bellingham picked up an injury next season? I mean, what if he struggled? With all the weight of expectation clouding his head. I mean, let's not forget, it doesn't feel like it because he's already got nearly 30 England caps, but he has never played Premier League football in his life. He has never ever been on Match of the Day. And you're expected to pay 130 mil? I mean, this is like me trying to counsel someone through a breakup. But I can only imagine that right now, Craig is crying into his bowl of Frosties whilst begging the dog to bite his foot just so that he can feel pain again. Honestly, right now, he's probably jamming a pencil 3 inches into his thigh. But there will be alternatives out there. And cheaper too. It's like in 2016 when Manchester United were so obsessed with bringing Paul Pogba for £85 million back to the club, when really, for the money they spent, they could have bought N'Golo Kante, Gini Wijnaldum and Gundogan for the same price. That would have instantly fixed their midfield for the next 5 years at least. And so similarly, Liverpool's other midfield targets are Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher, Alexis McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch and Mateus Nunes. Although to be fair, they do wind up giving Wolves £75 million for him when they could have just bought him from Sporting Lisbon last summer for half the fee. Oh, they'll have so much egg on their face, they'll probably smell like a sour milkshake. But I even think a move for Pedro Goncalves of Sporting Lisbon would be a tidy buy. But Liverpool fans are turning the nose up at all of these players.
Oh, they're not Jude! They'll never be Jude!
Lads, Mason Mount is a proven Premier League baller who has won the Champions League. Liverpool will be lucky to have him in their midfield. Tell me what's going on. £130 million. Only PSG have ever paid that sort of money for anyone on planet Earth. I would make Bellingham the third most expensive player of all time. Does that really sound right to you? Does that make sense to your ears? Because it doesn't to me. No. To me, it's been like being told to eat my own belly button with a spoon. It's confusing. Bellingham is not worth £130 million. Borussia Dortmund actually asking for that sort of money. I honestly believe that club has had their brain melted in recent years, because for the last 10 or so years, they've had all the shiny European toys that everybody wants, and they have been burned in the past. I mean, remember when they lost Robert Lewandowski on a free? They watched a world superstar like Ilkay Gundogan quit them at 25 for £20 million. Around the same as what Chris Wood costs now. But since then, they sold Ousmane Dembele to Barcelona for over £100 million. Yeah, it's 6 years later, Dembele is halfway to 50 and has less than 40 Barca goals. And now likes to spend his free time by just going to watch Sunderland. I bet he likes Mrs. Brown boys too. They managed to shake down Chelsea for £60 million for Christian Pulisic. I mean, they charged Manchester United £80 million for Jadon Sancho. Imagine if Erling Haaland's agent had never inserted that bio clause in his contract. I mean, Dortmund might as well have put iron bars on his bedroom window, because he would essentially be a Bundesliga prisoner until someone stumped up a £200 million fee. But £130 million for Bellingham? No! If Jude Bellingham really is a £130 million footballer, then I guess I might as well identify as a smurf. It doesn't make any sense. And let's be real, how many Dortmund players have arrived in the Premier League and chewed it to bits? I mean, most of these talented Dortmund superstars have arrived in England and been more frustrating than a picnic with a vegan. I mean, honestly, dare to nibble on a steak sandwich and they'd look at you as if you were eating their sister in a pie. But come on, going back to 2006, Thomas Rosicky, injury-prone hospital merchant at the Emirates. Both Shinji Kagawa and Henrik Mkhitaryan are Manchester United flops. Sancho is dangerously close to that territory. Pulisic has been an injury-riddled Chelsea disaster. Socrates Papastopoulos at Arsenal was even more forgettable than any Reese Witherspoon film. And Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was initially great, but I mean, at the end, he was booed out of Arsenal for less than the price of a Terry's chocolate orange. Yes, Man City is the outlier. Haaland, Gundogan, and Manuel Akanji have been superb. So if I'm Bellingham, I'm moving to the Etihad. They know how to take care of their Dortmund toys. But I mean, if you're a Dortmund player, going to Manchester United or Arsenal, it's a bit like a Barbie doll wanting to hang out in Sid's room of Toy Story. Dortmund have always had hyped up wonder kids. I mean, Mario Götze and Nuri Sahin were tipped for the very top, but really, their careers turned out to be as exciting as having a bath in cauliflower. I mean, you want to know where Kagawa is now? Back in Japan after failing in Turkey, Greece, Belgium, and the Spanish second tier. I mean, I had to Google him to find out where he is now. But I would not be surprised if I found out that he was working in a soup kitchen in Bristol, or had opened up an airport coffee shop, because his talent fell out of his legs as soon as he left Germany. So can everyone please just relax? Most mega expensive transfers don't even work in the Premier League anyway. I mean, the top 10 most expensive players in this division. Tell me how many have been worth the money. Kepa Arrizabalaga, Nicolas Pepe, Jadon Sancho, Virgil van Dijk, Romelu Lukaku, Harry Maguire, Anthony, Paul Pogba, Romelu Lukaku again, Jack Grealish, and Enzo Fernandez. One of those have been worth the £75 million, and that was Virgil van Dijk. I know Grealish is having a good season with City, yes, but still, you could have got the same performances out of a different player who didn't cost £100 million. I mean, Jamal Musiala would probably be cheaper to buy, but a lot of this insufferable hype is because Bellingham is English. If he was instead a Swedish international, would anyone really care? Would he still be worth £130 million? No! In my eyes, Musiala is actually a better player, but because he plays for Germany, I don't hear the likes of Gary Lineker squealing about him on Twitter. I mean, he did come through with Southampton and Chelsea. He played for the England underage teams. I promise you, if he was still English and was a shining light in Bayern Munich's team, then Premier League clubs would be queuing up to drag him back to England. I'm convinced of it. English hype plays a massive part in Bellingham's price tag. I mean, Martin Odegaard, he cost Arsenal £30 million. Yeah, if he didn't hail from Norway and instead London, £80 million at least. Listen, Bellingham is a good player, yes. And yes, I know, he's incredibly mature in midfield for his age. But there's no guarantee that he's going to be one of the best footballers of all time. And for £130 million, that's what you expect. The only two more expensive players in the world, Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, they were both proven to be world class before PSG stamped them up. But is Bellingham world class? Is he? I don't have much sympathy for Liverpool because if you really wanted Bellingham, you should have just signed him from Birmingham City for 25 million quid. Instead, you were too busy persuading Harvey Elliott not to join Real Madrid and raiding Fulham for him. But you should have done the same with Bellingham. Liverpool had no excuse. Christ, but if they tried to sign Bellingham in 2012 when he was 9 years of age, it's just that his family didn't want to leave Birmingham. Aye, Christ knows why. The place stinks of mouldy chicken nuggets. But if Liverpool had persuaded the entire family to come and live in Merseyside, they would have signed Bellingham for £9,000. This is going to be awkward if Bellingham moves to Manchester City because these Liverpool fans have been obsessed with Jude for years.
Liverpool fans are sent into a frenzy after Jude Bellingham likes Trent Alexander-Arnold's post celebrating their 7-0 winner for Manchester United. Trent Alexander-Arnold opens up with a Chris Brown concert with Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, two multi-million-pound footballers and England teammates who went out to socialise together. But apparently Bellingham was always going to choose Liverpool. If they were in the Champions League, then sure, maybe. But they won't be next season. They're not getting fourth, and I think Jude, when making the biggest decision of his career, choosing to join a club who next season will be in the Europa League, it's not clever. It's exactly what Pogba did in 2016. And yes, Man United ended up winning the Europa League, but I mean, they never had a meaningful title challenge during Pogba's entire Man United stint. Right now, Liverpool are in chaos. One of Jurgen Klopp leaves within 18 months. Bellingham wants to go to a club who are already set up to win trophies. But what happens in 2 years? When Gerrard is the caretaker coach and mumbling through his pre-match team talk with all the eloquence of someone off the undated Bulls, Liverpool should not be spending more than £100 million on a player. Don't get sucked into this ridiculous world for overpaying on everything. The Bellingham ship has sailed. The time to buy him was back in 2020. Not when greedy belly Dortmund have their hands on him. Instead, just go out and target the next wonder kid before they get a £100 million price tag slapped on their face. I mean, I've seen this all before. English hype melts people. I could mention Ross Barkley is now a wet pizza stain in France, but no, Dele Alli was a surefire, world-class talent at 19 too. But can you imagine if anyone had paid Tottenham over £100 million for him? It would be the equivalent of setting fire to a bank. It is so important to buy these wonder kids from their first club. Getting Ali from MK Dons would have been financial genius. But anyone who wanted to buy Ali from Tottenham, again, no, way too expensive. Although ironically, they eventually let him go to Everton for free. But honestly, Liverpool fans, stop crying about Bellingham. It's fine, okay? This will work out better for you in the long run because £130 million is ridiculous. Anyway, that's what. Let me know what do you think. Let me know, Liverpool fans. Are you devastated? Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.